and we'll get started with the syllabus, okay? But before I do that, let me just tell you this. I don't know if you're a big volleyball fan. I am, but I'm not sure I'll get to see any of these. Today's the 20th. Tomorrow, our volleyball team is playing a match at Montevallo, University of Montevallo, playing there at 4 p.m. Doubt if you can make that, but if you could, that would be great. Then that's tomorrow. Then Thursday, I'll wait and tell you that it's Snead State Tournament in Boaz, Alabama, but they haven't given times or anything for that. So, and then Friday they've got Southern Union Tournament, and that will be in Wadley, Alabama, and they haven't made times for that. Then Sunday, if I'm reading this right, will be Pearl River in Poplarville, Mississippi at 6 p.m., okay? So they've got quite a bit of activity going on, and, you know, then there's a Pensacola tournament August the 30th and 31st, which is next week sometime, so we'll worry about that later. Just wanted to let you know. And by the way, our volleyball team won more games than or matches than it ever had last year, so they have really good. It's worth a watch. What's that again? Yeah. Well, I know they have a new assistant coach. I think the coach has been there a while, but the new assistant coach, and it seems like they have really turned into a powerhouse. Okay. All right. But anyway, that's that. This is Math 237, linear algebra. And by the way, here's the syllabus for it, and I'm going to tell you right now, the syllabus is not up to date because I wasn't even sure the class was going to make until they left it on till this morning. So here's the syllabus. It is Math 237, Blackboard supported course, which doesn't mean a lot. It meets Tuesday, Thursday. I verified this morning. The same times as it was before, 11:30 to 12:45, here on the Bastrop campus in this room, 255. The instructor's still the same as me, and my office is in room 265. Now, are you Steve Vesper or? Okay. This building is a mess. The numbering makes no sense at all. But here's how you get to my office. Here we are in the corner classroom right here. You go out the door here, angle left, go down this little half flight of stairs there, go almost all the way to the end of the hall. Don't run into the wall at the end, nor take the stairwell down. But right before the stairwell is an office 265. That's where I live. Okay, so you can come see me anytime there. Real fairly close to here, but that's where I am, 265. Now, my phone number there is 929-3449, okay? Now, if you're going to call me, please call during my office hours, because it's too far away. I'm not going to hear it ringing when I'm in class. And as you see, my office hours are very limited because I'm in class all the time. But that's here on this campus, that's the number. I would say right now, don't leave me a voicemail because I don't think my voicemail is working properly. So you may be thinking you're leaving me a message and I'll never get to hear it. So don't even bother. If I'm not in there during my office hours, hang up, call back a few minutes later. I may have gone down to the hall to the restroom or had to go to an office or something, but I'll be back. Here's my email address. And until yesterday, I've been keeping up with emails fairly well, but everything broke loose yesterday, and I'm way behind on emails now. So I'll try to catch up. Now, every Friday, I'm on the Birmingham campus. You're more familiar with Birmingham, right? Oh, no. You're new at Boston? Oh, are you a transient student?
Yes.
Okay, from where? UAB. All right, well, it's good to have you. Okay? So you're probably not familiar with the Birmingham campus at all. You don't even know how to get there, probably, right? You know where Winona High School is? No, probably not. It's right, sort of, very close to the junction of Midfield and Birmingham.
I probably didn't pass.
Yeah. Well, if you can find your way to the Birmingham campus on Fridays, just call and ask me. I'll try to give you directions. The B building is called the Academic Building, B122. It's the Birmingham West Campus. It's the East Campus and West Campus. It's the West Campus. And the number in that office, now this is not my office. This is where I go on Fridays. Dr. Carl Pruitt. He's my boss. He's the Associate Dean for Transfer Programs. It's his office suite, B122. The secretary's desk is right when you come in the big office suite. The room I stay in on Friday is right behind her desk. It's the copy room. And there's a table in there, and that's where I work from on Friday mornings. His big office is over here next to it, and then there's another room over there. So this is the phone number there. It's not my number. It's the phone number in that office, 649-929-6409. So please don't leave a message there, because I can't even access the voicemails there. It probably belongs to the grant coordinator who's only there part-time, but she's not there on Fridays. So don't leave a message there. Don't leave one here either. Just call back on this one. And the same thing here. During my office hours, which is 8 to 12, call back. Or I'll give you a better number, or another number, 6377. That's the secretary's number. And since I'm right behind her desk, she can just call back to me and say, you got a phone call. Or if she's not at her desk, I try to answer that phone for her if I can get to it in time. So that would be another number, 6377. All right, email is the same. Now, the office hours, I didn't get this far. In fact, that's when I stopped to start trying to figure out when my office hours are. I'll give you my best guess now, and it's surprisingly close to what's here. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm available from 8 to 10. I had an 8:30 class, but I gave it to another instructor because she lost one of hers. They've been canceling classes like crazy. So 8 to 10 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Now, at 10 o'clock, I've got a Calculus 1 class here in this room. That goes till 11:40. And then at 12:15, I've got a Calculus 2 class. Calculus 3 is from 12:15 to 1:55. Okay? And then I've got differential equations from 2:30 until 3:45. So on Mondays, from 3:45 until, I had put 6, and it still says it here, 3:45 till 6, those are my office hours on this campus on Mondays. Okay. Now, let's jump to Wednesdays. This is turning out very similar. 8 to 10, okay, that's still good. And then I put in here 11:45 until 2:30. That's not correct. This will be till 2:15. 11:45 till 2:15. That's only 30 minutes, but that's all I got left, because on Wednesdays, as soon as I finish that 3:45 class, I have to head to the Birmingham East Campus to teach a physics class. So that's why I don't have the evening office hours on Wednesdays that I do on Mondays. So actually, I ought to take those out, because that's 30 minutes, but just basically 8 to 10 on Wednesdays. On Tuesdays, 8 to 8:30, Tuesday and 8 to 8:30, that's good. And then 5:45 to 6, that's good. That's all I've got on Tuesday and Thursday. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. My 10 o'clock class was canceled and moved to the Birmingham campus. So let me take this back. Have office hours 8 to 8:30, and then from 9:45 until this class starts at 11:30. 9:45 till 11:30. So that's the office hours on Tuesday and Thursday. After this class is over with, I'm sorry, that's not right. Yeah. This class goes 11:30 to 12:45. Then I've got a 1:15 class. That's a mini-term physical science class that goes until 5:45. So that wipes out the rest of the day. And that's why 5:45 to 6 office hours. But basically, I'm shutting down the lab and getting ready to go home. So insert here 9:45 until 11:30. Those are good office hours. That's my biggest block of office hours on Tuesday, Thursday. Okay. Then on Friday, it's 8 to 12 on the Birmingham West Campus in that place right here, B122. All right. Enough of that. talk about the course description. And the reason this is important, yuck, I hate this stinking. All right, here's the course description. And please note this. This is not something we came up with here at the college, or any of the two-year colleges came up with. A committee between the two-year colleges and the state-supported four-year colleges and universities, including UAB, came up with this description. If we do this, they give you credit for it. So this is that agreement. This course introduces the basic theory of linear equations and matrices. Have you dealt with matrices before?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Good. You're going to be ahead of the game. Most of my students will not have had very many matrices. Determinants, have you dealt with those before?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Eigenvalues and eigenvectors.
I heard something about it.
Heard something about it. Okay. So far, I haven't been able to get very far into that. Just sort of a brief introduction, so you probably won't leave. Inner product spaces. You know what that's talking about? That's toward the end of the course. Diagonalization of symmetric matrices, we'll just touch on that a little bit. Additional topics may include quadratic forms and the use of matrix methods to solve systems of linear differential equations. We're not going to get that far. Okay? That's just a fine, right?
No, it was Wronski.
Second?
Wronski?
Yeah, the Wronski. We're going to be dealing with that. Absolutely. Okay. Prerequisite says Math 126, which is Cal 2. Have you already had that?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're in good shape there. Here's a textbook. It says it's required, but it doesn't mean you have to have a physical copy, though I prefer that, but you may not. But it's Elementary Linear Algebra, 7th edition, by Ron Larson. He's a very good author. I really don't care for the publisher, Cengage Learning, but the author I like a lot. He has a couple of things in this book that irritate me a little bit, and I'll get to that later, but won't do it. It's a 2013 book, which copyright date, which indicates to me he's probably going to update that sometime soon. So that may be with 4 years between the last two updates and the last update and 5 years before that. So it's been 6 years since the last one, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's not going to be a new book coming out. So that may influence your decision of whether or not you want to go purchase a book. Okay, but there's very little change between editions. Okay, graphics calculator is not necessary. They put it in here, but it's absolutely not necessary. May be convenient. Paper and pencil, definitely, because we're going to be doing lots of calculations in the course. Now, the rest of this is talking about the publisher. Cengage Unlimited, do y'all have anything like this at UAB?
Yeah, I ended up paying for the subscription. I don't know if I still
Okay. What it boils down to is for $119 per semester, you get the whole package. You know, for any books that Cengage publishes. Is this the only course you're taking here, or are you taking some others?
Yeah, this the only person.
Okay. So you'll have to decide. $119 is probably less than the cost of the book in the bookstore. Okay, and for the $119, you get a subscription that's good for one term this semester, and you have access to the ebook and all the resources that they have, and any other books you want to look at, that Cengage does. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. This is all going to be out there. Oh, let me back up a minute. All I did was say I'm recording this. Let me. Did I tell you that I sent it to? Yeah, I told you about sending it to YouTube, put it on a playlist. Okay, for this course, it may be tonight, and actually more likely tomorrow morning before I get the stuff uploaded. Because right after this course, I try to grab lunch in that 30 minutes I have. Then I have a physical science course that takes up the rest of the afternoon from 1:15 to 5:45. And then after that, I head home, and I said maybe tonight, if I have time at home to upload it, I will. But if not, I have an 8:30 class in the morning, so it may be after, in my office hours then, between 9:45 and 11:30. Is that what time? No. I have to go back and check that. No, I'm sorry. I had that wrong. It'll be tomorrow morning between 8 and 10. Maybe before I get this uploaded. So, anyway, I'll let you know that. All right, there's the textbook. All this will be there once I get it uploaded and once I get the link. Right now, Blackboard is empty. I don't have anything in Blackboard because I wasn't sure the class was going to run. I don't know when I'll get to do it, but as soon as I get to put it in Blackboard, I'll put the link, and then you can go back and see all this and read it to your heart's content. Okay, this is more about Cengage Unlimited, more about this. This are all the other courses we offer here that use Cengage books, so all those books would be good for you. More about that. I don't like advertising for Cengage, but they make us put this in. Now, finally, back to the real syllabus here. It is a Blackboard supported course. Do y'all use Blackboard at UAB?
I use Canvas.
Use what?
Canvas.
Canvas. How do you spell it?
C-A-N-V-A-S.
C-A-M-B.
C-A-N-V-A-S.
C?
Canvas board.
Canvas. Oh, got it. Okay. It's probably a lot better system than Blackboard, but you'll probably be able to navigate Blackboard okay. They put this paragraph in here. I don't really like it, but I'll go through it. All courses, and the thing is, they use it as students. Students make more sense here. A course doesn't use, well, it sort of uses Blackboard, but a course doesn't gain access to vital course information. Students do, okay? So this is a poor sentence here, but they don't let us change it. All courses must use Blackboard to gain vital course information such as the syllabus. I don't have it out there yet because I don't have it corrected yet. I've got to correct the PowerPoint stuff. All this other stuff is going to be the same, but I've got to get my office hours and that kind of stuff done. Okay? Handouts. I'll put at least one handout out there. It's going to be the assignment for your research paper, which we will have. The rest of them, usually if I'm going to hand something out, I hand it out to you. So I don't usually put many handouts there. PowerPoint shows. Boo hiss. This book doesn't have any PowerPoint shows. Now that's really disappointing because the other texts I've used by him have great PowerPoints. This one has zero. So there's not going to be any PowerPoint shows. However, the YouTube videos will be there, and I'll be writing things on the screen because this is a tablet computer that has an ionizing pen. Have you ever signed out of Home Depot? Does that look like your signature? It does. Okay, mine doesn't. But this is a little bit better than that. Okay, but I'll be working the problems on the board, so it'll all be there. That'll be like the PowerPoint shows. Activities, the school sometimes posts activities. We're not going to have any. Assignments, like I said, I have the research paper assignment out there. But also in the YouTube video, when we come to the end of the class or the end of a section, I will tell you what problems to do at the end of that section, to do for the class. So that'll be your assignments. I'm not going to type them in for you. I'll be telling. So you have to listen to the YouTube video to get them. Announcements, usually if the school has announcements, they'll do them. Most of the time I don't have announcements, but if I do, I'll put them out there. Now this next sentence I don't like. Failure to use Blackboard will severely damage your ability to pass the course. Now some people may teach the course totally on Blackboard. If that's the case, yeah, you have to use Blackboard. But guess what? I don't. I mean, it's just a tool. I would say the proper use of Blackboard could greatly enhance your ability to do well in the course. It's a lot more positive and I think closer to reality. I don't like the next sentence either. Students should always check the Blackboard announcement page, task pages prior to coming to class. Now, why would that sentence even be in there? The only reason I can think of would be if they put a comma here in case the instructor has canceled class. Guess what? I'm going to do my very best never to cancel a class. I'm going to be here. I have an 8:30 class. I will be here unless something major comes up. Well, with this one exception. I have a mild form of leukemia, so I have to see my doctor about once every, I don't know, it's down to probably 4 or 5 months. So sometime this term, I'm going to have an appointment, and he only sees patients on Tuesday mornings. So there'll probably be one Tuesday coming up later in the month, October, November, something like that, where I will be out, but I'm going to tell you way ahead of time. So it'll be on YouTube video, but I'm going to let you know in plenty of time. I'm probably not going to do a special announcement for that, because if I'll let you know, we won't have class that time. If it's going to interfere, I bet it will. All right, professional competencies and outcomes. Let's scroll back up and get those. And if you are paying attention to the course description, you'll see the same things here. Students will solve systems of linear equations and matrices. And chapter 1 is systems of linear equations. That's it. Okay? Chapter 2 is matrices. That's that. Students will apply the properties of the determinant to the solution of matrices. That's chapter 3. Okay? That's one reason I chose this book. It fit the course description almost as if he was copying it. Okay? Students will work with vector spaces, identifying bases and dimensions. That's chapter 4. And that includes inner product spaces. Okay? Well, no, that's chapter 5 is inner product spaces. That's number 4 here. Students will work with inner product spaces. Okay. Now, usually sometime around there, we run out of term before we run out of course. But if we can go further, then we'll perform linear transformations and represent them with matrices. That's chapter 6. And then, if we get that far, eigenvalues, eigenvectors, and diagonalize symmetric matrices. That's chapter 7. That's all the things that were mentioned before. That's 7 chapters in the book. I don't know if I've ever been able to cover, well, no, in some courses it's easier to cover 7 chapters than in this one, because this is pretty involved. But it sounds like you know the stuff, so we might be able to go through this early stuff pretty quickly. Okay. So, I'm going to change this slightly. Chapter 1 will have a test. Chapter 2 will have a test. Chapter 3 will have a test. Chapter 4 will have a test. I think the Chapter 5, a test. Chapter 6, a test, if we get that far. And Chapter 7, a test, if we get that far. You also have a writing competency. That is your research paper. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit later. And here we begin talking about it. Following is a breakdown of how students will evaluate a research paper is required for the course. Okay? SACS, our accrediting agency, has long time pushed writing across the curriculum, so I always assign a research paper. Not a major one, not something that's going to be published necessarily or anything like that. Just get you out of the text into the real world. I'll show you lots of places you can pick up ideas for that. Okay? But it is required. It will count as a test grade. That cannot be dropped. Okay? The test will be given at the end of each of the unit of study, chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay? The lowest unit test score may be dropped if it helps us grade, and the average of the paper and the remaining chapter tests will determine the grade for the course. The last test we get to, whichever one it is, it won't be a comprehensive final, but that last test will, of course, if it's the last test, it will be your final test, right? That one can't be dropped either, because I have to hang on to the final test. And they're going to build on everything we've done before, so it's sort of, in a small way, like it's comprehensive. But it's just going to be on that last test, chapter, whatever chapter it is. They're really big on plagiarism here, so don't do it. Just leave that alone. Okay. Students will be graded based on this, pretty standard, 90s are A's, 80s are B's, 70s are C's, don't go down here. Okay. Stay up there. Okay. Those are the passing scores. And this is a really stupid sounding sentence. We weren't supposed to change it, but I changed it. Here's what it originally said. Here's what it originally said. The instructor always rounds up. Always rounds up. That was this first sentence. The next sentence was exactly like it's written here. For example, a 79.5% will be rounded up to an 80%, of course. A B. but a 79.4% would remain a C. Well, that's not rounding up, that's rounding normally. Rounding up would move that up to a B. So I round normally. Her example was it rounds normally, but her statement says always rounds up. So I changed it back to make the first statement round normally, because that's how all the Blackboard and everything else, they round normally. They don't round up. Okay, so I don't think she understood rounding. Okay, the one who wrote this. She wasn't a math person, I'll put it that way. Okay, so very few administrators are. Okay. All right. Try to be here every class. Obviously, 3/4 of the class is not here today, but hopefully they'll be catching up. And today we got started really late. But I will do record the classes, but you can't ask questions of the recording. I'll try to be here so you can follow what's going on. Withdrawals. Now, I used to really ping on this pretty hard. I'll make a little bit of a change now. What I used to say was, now you're a transient student. I doubt if UAB is going to transfer a D or an F. Okay, they're not interested in them. So basically, if you feel like it, it doesn't sound like you're going to be in this category at all, but I'll just need to say it. If it looks like toward the end of the term, you can't possibly pull at least a C out of the course, it's way better to withdraw than it is to make a D or an F. A D or an F will not transfer. It will pull down your grade point average. There's nothing good about it. W doesn't hurt your grade point average at all. And unless UAB has some sort of problems with it, I don't think they'll have a problem. Okay. Now, financial aid may be an issue, but if you make a D or an F, they'll pay for you to repeat the course once. If you make a withdrawal, they'll pay for you to repeat the course once. They're not going to pay for you to repeat it more than once, so there's no difference there between a D and an F and a W. And there is a difference in the W doesn't hurt your grade point average. So it's a no-brainer. Now, here's the thing. I don't care whether you're on financial aid or not, but here's the deal. If you're on any type of financial aid and you withdraw before 60% of the term is over, then the school has to pay the government back the money, and the school tries to get you to pay them back the money. So don't go there. Wait till the 60% of the course is over. In other words, a week or two after midterm, you're going to be there. Okay? So, I do need to ask this question, though. Okay? Do you prefer in-class test or take-home test? Okay, which do you like better? You don't? Okay. Well, that's the deal with me, too. I think you learn more if you have a take-home test. Because in-class tests, sometimes it's just memorization. And memorization doesn't stick. But a take-home test, to me, you're interacting with it as much time as you need, looking up what you need to find. To me, that's better. And that gives me more class time to teach. And you get more learning that way, too. So I'm in favor of take-home tests. But if someone comes out really strongly, no, I want in-class tests, then we'll go for in-class tests. These tests are not that difficult, but they sometimes take a while to do. Because when you've done matrices, if you make a little error somewhere, sometimes it really takes a long time to find. So I don't want you panicking. I'm running out of time. So anyway. So therefore, this next sentence, makeup work, guess what? Your paper is going to be a take-home thing. All your tests are going to be take-home things. What is makeup work? Well, if you're not here when I give out a test, next time you come, get the test. Okay, that's about all. But try to get them in on time. Okay? Try to get the test back to me within a week, but I will always give you as much time as you need, as long as you don't go past the next test. I don't want you having two tests out at the same time, so always get it back to me before it's time for the next test. Lateness, I'm going to try to start here on time every time. Today was the big exception because of the adjunct instructor, but most of the time I'll hopefully be here early. I'll be all set up. We'll go get going right on time. getting here. Just come when you can. It's better than missing it. Okay, academic integrity, have it. I'll just say that. Plagiarism, don't do it. Okay, you can read all this stuff if you want to, but please don't plagiarize. Cheat, don't cheat. That's not helping you at all. That's just, it's actually hurting you. So don't cheat, okay? I'm not going to read all this. You can read it yourself. Professional decorum, have it, okay? I mean, that's sort of a dumb, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that because some people are really fired up about it. Of course, this should be self-evident in my mind. My summation of all this is, if you're doing something that's distracting to another student, don't do it, okay? If you're sleeping, don't snore, okay? That could bother somebody else, okay? Don't speak out of turn or rudely or unkindly. That's going to distract somebody. It might upset somebody. Don't do it. If you need a bladder break, take a bladder break. Don't be getting up and going out, in and out. If you've got that many phone calls, either turn your phone off and get the message later. But I don't anticipate that. Eating or drinking, if it helps you stay alert, do it, okay? If you make a mess, you're going to clean it up. That's my opinion of that. If your stomach is growling so hard you can't hear me talk, eat something. I mean, I don't care, or you drink a little caffeine or something. I don't care. No alcohol. If you drink caffeine, fine. Okay. Now, I don't anticipate anybody wearing inappropriate clothing. I don't care about sunglasses. I don't care about hats. Earphones, especially if they're making enough noise that the person near you is hearing it, don't do it, okay? To me, blah, 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 okay. Now, this next part may be of a little more importance to you, is course concerns. If you have concerns about how the course is running, what I'm doing or not doing, what I'm saying or not saying, or anything such as that, then please, here's the, if I could get it to stay still. Okay. Again, our concern, my concern is that you learn. Okay, and it sounded like that's your concern as well. So if you feel like something's happening that's not, talk to me. If another student's being distracted, talk to me. I'll deal with that other student. Okay. As you've already noticed, I'm hard of hearing. Sometimes I don't hear if another student is making noises or comments or something like that because I just don't hear well. So let me know. Or if I'm making comments you don't approve of, let me know. We'll try to resolve it. If that doesn't work, we'll go to the department chair. Oops, that's me. Okay, so we'll talk again. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. After that is my associate dean. Like I said, Dr. Pruitt. We'll try to iron things out. If that doesn't work, the dean, Dr. Davis, will work something out. If not that, the vice president will work something out. If it gets to the president, I'll probably be gone anyway. Okay, so don't sweat it. We'll try to handle it right there. Okay? You can go to the website. There are places that you can go on the student portal to locate the concern complaint link, and you can formalize it if you want. Okay? Discrimination and harassment, this is something I take very seriously, and we do here at the college. I've been here 20 some odd years, and so far I have detected or witnessed basically zero. Okay? Now, does that mean it's not happened? Maybe not. They're not stupid enough to do it in front of me. That's what that means. So if you sense, see, or even suspect any type of discrimination, harassment, and I include in this bullying, anything such as that, please let us know. Because we want to deal with it. We'll deal with it fairly, quickly, using all the, whatever they call it, due process, everything like that, but we don't want it happening here. And this is a terrible thing to use in an example, but something that happened last Friday. I had an instructor come to me in the Birmingham campus. I was trying like crazy to get the schedules finalized and stuff like that, and she came and she had some issues with schedule. We got hers taken care of, And then she said, she started talking about some of the labs. She wanted to teach her lab, or she didn't mind if this other instructor did. But the previous term, she had been requesting another person. She said, I just love him. He's great with the students, blah, blah, blah. And so I said something. I said, well, you know, at one time you were really interested in him. And she said, yeah, but I went by his class one day just walking down the hall, and I heard him talking about things that were very inappropriate in the math lab. And she wouldn't tell me anything specific, but she said it was something sexual in nature. I went, whoa, here, okay. And that's not discrimination or harassment, it's just totally inappropriate. So within probably 15 minutes of the time she left my office, the dean happened to call. The dean was the one that assigned him to be a tutor, you know, in those labs. And I said, and by the way, so I unloaded on her, and she said, I've told him before this should not happen. I went, what? You knew of this? You know, and so she said, yeah. And she had some sort of little bit mitigating things, but to me that wasn't sufficient. And anyway, he had emailed earlier, and when I answered his email, I said, and by the way, I've heard this. I haven't heard specifically what it was, but to me, this is totally inappropriate in the math lab. We've got the students need math, they don't need to hear this. So whatever it was, so, well, I copied the dean on it because it said, she said that she has spoken with you more than once, I take it, before. And so once she saw my email, then she emailed him and said, yes, I agree with Dr. Fowler, and this can't go on, blah, blah, blah. So he responded and said it wouldn't happen again. Obviously, he has said that a couple times before. I don't know why he's still here. But that's what I mean. We do due process. We have to document. We have to do all this stuff. By me emailing him, I documented to him, this is no more. She then followed that up and said the same thing. Before, it had all been verbal. Nothing. So we do document. We do whatever it takes. Now, if anyone's harassing or discriminating, that gets documented immediately, and if there's anything else, they're gone. I mean, so to me, that went on too long, but I couldn't do anything about it because she was in charge of it. All right. That probably shouldn't have gone into so much detail there. Let's talk about Americans with disabilities. That's another thing, obviously, I'm sensitive to. I can't hear well, so I appreciate anyone who has anything that's hurting them from learning we want to deal with. We have trained counselors on campus. On this campus is Dr. Renee Herndon, the Office of Disability Services. She's in charge of that, and she's on this campus. And over on the Birmingham campus, Ms. Janine McCoy-Jones also is trained in this. Get us the information. Don't bring it to me, or if you do, I'll take it to her, okay? Or you can take it straight to her, and then she lets us know what we need. We want to do whatever it takes to make sure you can learn. All right, now obviously this college calendar is not up to date, but it's the same things that are on the current college calendar. Always does that, okay. Now, it's just the dates are wrong, okay, and a few of the things over here. But you see midterm progress reports are due the 8th of March. In about a week, you reach the 60% completion rate. So about a week or two after midterm, that's the time if you, up until, see, last day to drop a course is 1 week before final exams. So you got from a week after midterm till a week before finals. Big window. If people are going to withdraw, that's when you withdraw. I'll get the dates updated and the holidays and things change, but I'll get that done for the next. And then there's this page here, which is the acknowledgement page, indicating that you have read the syllabus. Of course, you won't have a chance to read it until I get it updated and put on Blackboard. Once you do, you can either type your name and date in here and send me this, email it to me, or you can make a copy of this, sign your name, and give it to me in class. either one. Any questions about the syllabus? Okay. Sorry I went on and on and on. Okay. And we're got 1 minute left in the class. I'm just going to put up here the research paper instructions. What we'll do is go over these next time. I'll try to do it very quickly, but if you want to read it first, here it is. And I don't know if I'll have it up on Blackboard yet or in YouTube video yet. It probably will be in YouTube video before it's in Blackboard, but you can read that. I'll show you what our locator cards look like. This is a course from last summer, not now, but it shows when I'm on, it gives my information, my phone numbers, email, that kind of stuff. And it shows when I'm on campus, when I'm off campus, when I'm in class, when I'm out of class, when I'm at lunch, not at lunch. Now, let me say something about my lunch. I usually bring my lunch. I eat in my office, so you're welcome to come by if you don't mind seeing me eat. Okay, so not a big deal. But you see it, I list, I can't show you. Actually, it does show everything. When I come to class, and when I come to campus, off campus. Now, the one that I have this time will go a little bit later because I'll be off campus at 6:30 on Mondays, on Wednesday only. The other days will be closer to 6 o'clock. Okay. See, last summer, the physics class went 2 days a week for an hour and a half. This term was 1 day a week for 2 hours. So that's going to be on Wednesday. Most of the rest of it is, of course, different courses, but that's how it'll look. Okay. It is now 12:45, which is when the class ends, right? I'm still getting used to the new term. Any questions on anything?
So, let's say they do cancel this class.
Again?
Let's say they do cancel this class. Is it, well, because I know you teaching a differential equation class.
Right.
Is it a way they can, basically change, like if they cancel this, they basically just changing it over to differential equations, or is that too much of a sticky process because everything's set in stone?
As far as we're concerned, we'll take your money for whatever you want to pay for it. Really, what the question is will UAB allow you to do that? Okay, because didn't they give you a transient letter?
Yeah, well, okay, actually, I tried to take this course at Just State first. And so I applied to Just State. So now I'm a transient student from Just State as well. So it's like transient student course. But,
Oh, so you're a transient from Just State, not from UAB?
yeah, because like, well, I'm kind of in a situation right now. I'm still a student at UAB, but like I had got into some trouble, so I ended up I got suspended from this past spring up until this upcoming spring.
Right.
So like after this upcoming spring, I get to go back to UAB.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm already kind of familiar with some stuff because I was taking differential equations and any algebra while I was at UAB. Well, I was taking them at the same time.
Right.
And
Well,
I think we got up until vector spaces.
Right.
That's when I had to leave. But
okay. Well, okay, I see now how you're so familiar with it. As far as we're concerned, you can take one or both. We don't care. If you're here as a transient student, only thing that's required is that the courses fit what the transient letter calls for. So if you just need to get a different transient letter, you can. If you want to take them both, the other one meets Wednesday afternoon at 2:30 to 3:45. Okay, and I'm just the instructor. Bad news for that, but sorry about that. But we met yesterday, and I think only one person showed up because I was teaching Cal 3, and someone said the differential equation's been canceled. Is there any way we can get it back? I said, do you need it to graduate? He said, yes. So I just opened it back up again. So that's why only one or two could stay. They sure if y'all need it, I'll open it back up. So,
I just need this class for my math line.
right. Are you a pre-engineer or?
Oh, no, I'm a physics major.
Physics major, good deal. That's what I was in college.
Well, I was recommended to do a math minor. This is the class I chose, but I was also recommended by my professor here to take PDE, and he just recommended PDE.
Right.
But I also wanted to take.
You almost have to have different equations before you have PDE.
Yeah, that's why I was because I was already taking it, and all that stuff happened. So like, I'm just trying to take it while I can. Like,
right.
These are the only two classes I can take. The rest of my classes is physics, but I can't
right.
take it except for UAB.
Right.
But yeah, he recommended PDE, and I also wanted to take vector calculus.
Okay.
And it's not called that. It's called something else.
Yeah.
But it's vector calculus. It's a course, and I wanted to take it because I feel like I feel like.
Have you had calculus 3?
Yeah, I took all my calculus.
Okay. I was going to say we teach a lot of vector calculus in calculus 3.
Yeah. Okay. When I took it at UAB, he touched on some, and well, he pretty much ran through the whole course in like 30 minutes, like the whole vector calculus course in like one class. But that was just some silly stuff he did. That was like the extra topic, basically.
Yeah.
And like he went through some, and it interested me. I liked it. I liked it. And come to find out it's a whole course, and I kind of want to take it.
Yeah, that's probably a 300 level course. Yeah. You see, we can't do a 300 level course over here. We're limited to 200. So then your algebra differential equation is as far as you can go. I mean, they have some statistics classes with higher numbers, but they're not really as rigorous courses. So, yeah, so you're welcome to take one or both. I think we're going to keep both of them open just because, like I said, Charles Hendricks, I'm almost certain, has to have to graduate. Because I know he took his linear algebra, took his differential equations last term. I think this is the last course he needs. So we're going to try to keep it open just for him. And any of the rest of you that can take advantage of it being open, go for it. Okay? All right. Well, it's good to have you in here. And if you want to add the other one and get it cleared through Cal State or UAB or whoever, it's fine for us. We're happy to have you.
I probably just, I was just thinking is, they cancel this class.
Yeah. I don't think they will just because I think Charles Hendricks has to have it.
That's fine.
And I'm willing to teach you. See, I'm not getting paid to teach the class. That's what they're worried about is the money. But this, to me, 4 students isn't going to pay my salary, so I'm just doing it because I want students to graduate. And if we don't offer the class, there's no way they can graduate. They'll transfer to UAB or somewhere else and graduate from there. We don't get credit for their graduation there, so that's why I teach as many classes as I can to help students finish. Yeah. So it's good to have you, and like I said, one or both, either one. We love to have you in either one of them or both of them. All right, we'll wrap up next time with this, but we pretty much finished the syllabus. And we'll also do a little bit on safety. Not that there's anything dangerous we're going to be doing. I just deleted that. I didn't need to, but I was going to need that again. So good to have you here. Glad you made it. And I will, we'll see you on Thursday. And maybe even tomorrow if you add the differential equation.
Well, I probably won't just because I've been working a lot since I've been out from UAB.
Right.
And like I'm trying to keep my making the same amount of money while I can while I'm out.
Right.
And
okay.
Hopefully that pays off. But if I just keep it to this one class and just have 2 days off a week,
right.
And I can still make the same amount of money.
Right. Okay.
Before classes started. So, because I figured, well, I still remember a lot of stuff, like, because I had to like 2 tests on this stuff before I left UAB. So like a lot of the stuff is just gonna be like
Yeah,
Because
right.
I pretty much learned it.
Right.
I took out enough time to actually know what's going on. So,
Right.
but at the same time, I don't want to be too lax.
Right,
I
exactly.
also want to, perform like I've been performing.
Okay. All righty. We'll go for it then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good deal. Thanks.